So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News and Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time. Now, needless to say this, I say this every time, you have to revise this lecture just after watching it. Because if you don't revise it from the notes provided by us, these current affairs which you have just studied would quickly skip your memory. You'll quickly forget them. So revise this lecture from the notes provided by us on our Telegram channel just after watching this lecture. It's very important. Now, the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below this video. So check those notes out and revise it, memorize it. Okay? Alright then. Enough of the introduction. Let's straight away jump into the lecture. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. Okay, so let's begin. So daily current affairs, 14th of November, that is Friday. And here is the topics list. The topics list is a little short this time because not many news items were of significance that were covered in Friday's newspaper. Okay, so number one topic is Hepatitis A vaccine. Experts are saying that make Hepatitis A vaccine part of universal immunization program. Under this, government provides vaccination for 12 diseases. Okay, so we need protection against Hepatitis A vaccine, Hepatitis A as well. So this was in the news. Then DRISHTI system for freight train security. Basically, it's an anti-collision system for train security, especially freight trains that transport goods, not passengers. Okay. And the third news item is with respect to Chandrayaan-3. Well, the propulsion module of Chandrayaan-3 has entered moon sphere of influence. So what is this moon sphere of influence? A question can be asked. Okay. So we'll talk about this. So first news item is related to science and technology portion of UPSC syllabus. Second, again related to science and technology and policy and governance portion of UPSC syllabus. And the third news item is again related to science and technology portion of UPSC syllabus. So today's lecture is science and technology dominated. Okay, nonetheless, science and technology is also part of your syllabus. So let's start discussing all three news items one by one, starting with topic number one, and that is Hepatitis A vaccine. Okay, so Hepatitis A is caused by Hepatitis A virus. And basically, it destroys your liver. It's a liver disease. And liver is the biggest organ after skin of your body. Okay. So liver is very important. It performs it is a pivotal organ when it comes to metabolic functions of your body. Now, if you're infected with Hepatitis A, B or C, well, it destroys your liver. Now, cases of Hepatitis A are rising. That is why experts are saying that make it a part of Hepatitis A vaccine, a part of universal immunization program. Now, under universal immunization program, government provides vaccines to everyone. Hence the word universal. Okay, it's for everyone. And these vaccines cover 12 diseases. Now they are saying that add another disease, and that is Hepatitis A, because we need to give vaccine for Hepatitis A to everyone in India. Only then we can eradicate Hepatitis A from India. Okay, so first we'll talk about what is this Hepatitis A disease, and then we'll talk about universal immunization program. Okay, so both these two topics would be covered in this news item. So pay close attention. Okay, so Hepatitis A vaccine. So what was in the news? As India debates the inclusion of typhoid conjugate vaccine in its universal immunization program, it is time to ask whether Hepatitis A deserves even greater priority. We are already including typhoid conjugate vaccine, but experts are saying include Hepatitis A vaccine also. India's universal immunization program has been one of the most successful public health initiatives in the developing world. Okay, now we'll talk about universal immunization program, but first let's talk about Hepatitis A. Okay, so Hepatitis A is an acute viral infection. Okay, so it's a viral infection caused by a virus, not bacteria. Don't get confused. They ask confusing questions in prelims examination. Okay, now if it is a viral infection, well, which virus causes it? Hepatitis A virus. It is a RNA virus. Now, viruses are of two types: DNA virus, like the AIDS virus, HIV, okay, and RNA virus, like COVID, okay, SARS-CoV-2. So, Hepatitis A is an RNA virus that leads to inflammation of liver. Like I said, it causes liver disease. Now, how does this virus spread? What is the mode of transmission? So, it spreads via fecal-oral route. Now, whenever you will hear the term fecal-oral route, this means that you will get this disease when you eat contaminated food or drink contaminated water. Okay, and this virus spreads in those areas where hygiene and sanitation conditions are not that great. Okay, so if you're eating from a very poorly maintained restaurant, dhaba, or any other eatery, street eatery, okay, make sure that it is properly sanitized, because there is a concern that hepatitis A virus is proliferating in that area. Okay, so remember this term, fecal oral route, often by consuming contaminated food or water or through close contact with an infected person. So if you are in close contact with an infected person, okay, you might come in contact with his or her bodily fluids also. So this also causes infection. Okay, people to people transmission. Now, what are the symptoms? It includes fever, malaise, loss of appetite, because liver is destroyed. And when your liver is destroyed, you don't feel hungry. Nausea, abdominal discomfort, jaundice, because again, liver is destroyed, okay? Dark urine, dark yellow, and fatigue. Now, if you're infected with hepatitis A virus, the symptoms appear after 14 to 50 days. So this is known as the incubation period. On average, after 28 days, you'll start to see symptoms. Now, as far as the treatment for this virus, if you're infected with hepatitis A virus, what is the treatment? Now remember this thing, okay? If you are infected with a bacterial disease, okay? If you're infected with a bacterial disease, then the treatment is antibiotics. Okay? But if you are infected with a virus, the treatment is simple antivirals. Remember this part. But for hepatitis A, there are no antivirals available. So if you're infected with this virus, there is no treatment available, only symptomatic treatment. What do you mean by symptomatic treatment? That treatment basically suppresses your symptoms. Like if you'll have fever, okay, so you'll be given paracetamol to reduce that fever. So it will only treat the symptoms, not the disease. Okay, there is no specific antiviral treatment. Management is supportive care with rest and fluids, a lot of fluids, hydration. Okay, so when there is no treatment available, the only way out is prevention. Okay, now prevention can be of two types. Number one is, well, be hygienic, eat only from sanitized places, right? This is one. The other prevention is vaccines. Vaccines basically train your immune system so that next time you're infected with hepatitis A virus, your immune system is trained to fight it off, right? So prevention. Prevention through improved sanitation, safe drinking water, food safety, good personal hygiene like hand washing. But, well, this can't be ensured every time. So therefore, we talk about vaccination. Hepatitis A vaccination is highly effective, recommended for children and at-risk adults that are more vulnerable to it. India produces an indigenous live attenuated vaccine called Biovac A. So Indian vaccine, okay, which is produced in India only, is Biovac A. Vaccination series involves 2 doses spaced 6 to 12 months apart, conferring long-lasting immunity. So you get one vaccination and one booster dose. That booster dose is generally given after 6 to 12 months. Okay, and you are immunized almost for life for very long periods of time. Okay, so this is hepatitis A. That's all you need to know as far as hepatitis A is concerned. But let's talk about universal immunization program. Okay, so it is India's largest public health vaccination program, providing free immunization to all children and pregnant women against major vaccine preventable diseases. So India basically thought that, well, let's give vaccination for various diseases that are very common in India, to children below the age of 2 years and pregnant women. Okay, and this would be given to all. That is why the word universal, every children. This was universal immunization program. Today, 12 diseases are covered under universal immunization program. That means 12 vaccines, and not 12 vaccines, but vaccines that cover 12 diseases are given under this UIP. Okay, it has been the most successful, kind of launched in 1980s. It is one of the largest immunization programs globally because India's population is huge. Obviously, it will be the largest. UIP in India covers vaccine for 12 diseases. And the list of those 12 diseases is given in your notes. So do check that out. Measles, rubella, all these things. Okay. Polio. So these are all covered under UIP. Simple. That's all. Now, let's quickly shift our focus to second news item, and that is DRISHTI system for freight train security. Okay, you see, India wants to promote railways for transportation of goods and services. Not services, goods basically. The thing is that when it comes to short routes, trucks are the best mode of transport. Okay, if you want to transport goods within short distances, Trucks are good, road transport is good. But if you have to transport goods at a stretch, I mean for longer distances, then railways are considered superior to roads. So if you want to transport goods from Delhi to Mumbai, Delhi to Chennai, Mumbai to Kolkata for long distances, well, railways are considered superior to roads. But in India, most goods are transported, even for longer distances, via trucks, via roads. And it has its own set of challenges. Therefore, Government of India is trying to promote railways, okay, freight trains, trains that only transport goods, no passengers. So government is trying to promote freight trains for long distances. Again, your transportation cost comes down, less greenhouse gas emissions also happen because trains are electrified. They run on electric tracks. Yes, so government is promoting railways. But trains are vulnerable to accidents. So are trucks. Trucks are also vulnerable to accidents. Road transport is also vulnerable to accidents. But trains are also vulnerable to accidents, and government wants people to choose trains over trucks, right? So government wants to make this mode of transport as safe as possible. Now, these days, AI is the buzzword, okay? And AI can solve a lot of problems. So government has developed a system to enhance security and safety of freight trains using AI. And for that, we have developed DRISHTI system. Okay. Now, what are the technical features of this DRISHTI system and other information? Let's talk about this. Okay. So, DRISHTI for freight train security. So, what was in the news? Indian Railways is deploying AI-based. Like I said, AI is the buzzword. AI-based technology called DRISHTI to enhance security and safety in freight trains. The aim is to address challenges in detecting unlocked or tampered doors or moving freight stock, ensuring cargo safety. Okay, so there are some technical faults or there are some faults, construction faults within trains that can be easily detected very quickly by this AI system, DRISHTI. Okay, DRISHTI means vision. So it gives you vision about your own train. So technology details, it is an AI-based locking monitoring system developed by Northeast Frontier Railway and IIT Guwahati Technology Innovation and Development Foundation. Okay, so IIT Guwahati and NFR, basically by Northeastern region. IIT Guwahati is also in Northeast. It uses computer vision and machine learning algorithms for real-time autonomous monitoring. So while the train is moving, and let's suppose a door gets unlocked, a bleep would come on this system and you'll get to know. Okay, so it is constant 24/7 monitoring. Employs AI-powered cameras, sensors fixed at strategic points on wagons to capture door status and locking conditions so that the train is locked airtight. Real-time status monitoring of door locks on freight wagons. Automated detection of anomalies such as unlocked doors or tampering attempts. All these things are there. Okay. Now, what is the significance? Well, it addresses safety and security concerns for long distance transport, reduces human error. Plus, this technology is very important, indigenously developed. A big boost to Atmanirbhar India. Atmanirbharta, okay? Potential to be scaled across NFR networks. So, currently it is being used in Northeast Frontier Railway. It will be expanded to the entire country. Aims to increase transparency, operational reliability, and reduce manual inspection. Earlier, before this technology, well, inspectors would inspect the train before it takes off. Okay, but now because these things are subject to manual errors, we are completely outsourcing these inspection efforts to AI, which is error free. I mean, as much error free as it can go. Okay, enhances wagon sealing integrity through advanced analytics and imaging technology. Now, implication for Indian Railways represents Indian Railways puts towards digital transformation and smart infrastructure, aligns with national priorities for increased use of AI in public sector. Government wants to increase the usage of AI in government. So this is there. Can improve cargo security, logistics efficiency. We have talked about logistics. Contributes to broader goals of building resilient technology-enabled transport networks. So it will include Digital India plus Make in India also. All right. So it's a big boost, especially for rail transport. Okay. All right. That would be all. That's all you need to know. Now let's quickly shift our focus to third news item, the final news item, and that is Moon's sphere of influence. Okay. So you must have heard about Chandrayaan 3, right? What was Chandrayaan 3? Chandrayaan 3 was basically composed of, it was India's lunar mission, moon mission, and it was made up of three things. Number one, propulsion module, which will take the spacecraft to the moon. then a lander, and from the lander, a rover would come out. So 3 things. Propulsion module, which will spin or revolve around the moon. Then lander, which will land on moon. Rover that would go on the surface of moon, travel on the surface of moon. Okay, these were the 3 components. Now, recently, ISRO scientists have said that the propulsion module is continuously revolving around the moon. Okay, it recently entered moon sphere of influence. The question is, what is moon sphere of influence? You see, whenever a spacecraft is between Earth and moon, it is pulled by the gravitational fields of both Earth and moon. Earth's gravity and moon's gravity both affect that. But there comes a point when the spacecraft is so close to the moon that Earth's gravity doesn't matter that much, and moon's gravity decides the trajectory of that. When the spacecraft is close to Earth, well, Earth's gravity decides its trajectory. But when it comes or enters a sphere where moon's gravity is dominant and Earth's gravity is negligible, that area around the moon is known as moon's sphere of influence, because in this area, moon's gravity dominates and Earth's gravity is negligible. So recently, the propulsion module of Chandrayaan-3 entered moon's sphere of influence. So let's talk about moon sphere of influence. Okay, special features of moon sphere of influence. So moon sphere of influence. What was in the news? ISRO's team said the propulsion module of Chandrayaan-3 has entered moon sphere of influence, MSI. Chandrayaan-3 mission aims to demonstrate a safe and soft landing on moon, rover and on-site experiments. Now, Chandrayaan-3 was launched on 14 July 2023 from Satish Dhawan Space Center on LVM-3 rocket. The lander landed on moon on August 23, 2023. Okay. Now, this is moon sphere of influence. So as you can see, this is Earth, this is moon. The spacecraft is traveling from here till the moon. Now, this area around the moon is moon sphere of influence. This area around the Earth is Earth sphere of influence. This is a mid area. Okay. But as soon as the spacecraft enters this area, well, moon's gravity dominates, Earth's gravity is negligible. Moon's gravity will decide the path of the spacecraft. Clear? Now, some features about it. So, MSI is the region around the moon where moon's gravitational force dominates over that of Earth for purpose of orbital calculations. What will be the path of orbit? What will be the altitude of the orbit? Everything. MSI is not a perfect sphere, okay, but rather an approximately spherical patch defined by balance of Earth and moon's gravity. Okay. Radius of MSI, 66,000 kilometers around the moon. The shape is not perfect circle or sphere, and it's not perfect ellipse. It is called oblate spheroid. Okay, spherical but elongated also. The sphere is elongated. Okay, influenced by orbital eccentricity and the sun. Now, significance. Well, why is it important for us to know about MSI? Well, trajectory planning. If you're planning to land on moon, you need to know about the gravitational effects of moon. So, determines when spacecraft navigation should shift from Earth-centric to moon-centric for calculations. Critical for lunar flybys and insertions. A spacecraft traveling to Mars will fly close to moon. So, it will enter moon sphere of influence and then leave it towards Mars. So, this calculation is important for interplanetary missions also. Okay. So, it will fly by past the moon, which is known as lunar flybys. Okay. Avoids orbital uncertainty. If you have full knowledge of moon sphere of influence, well, you can avoid uncertainty because it is important to calculate to the last decimal the pull of gravity of moon. Okay, moon's gravitational pull. It is very important to calculate because space is a huge thing. Some miscalculation, even it's about to the 10th decimal, okay, or the 12th or 20th decimal, that level of miscalculation is also catastrophic. So the margin of error is less. That is why you need full awareness of this. Okay. And yes, that's about it. With that, we conclude today's session. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it will add more value. It will add a lot of value if you're consistent and regular with this lecture series. Plus, you revise this lecture from the notes provided by us. So please do not forget to do that. And I shall see you next time with another set of news items. Thank you, everyone.